Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of StarCraft Inc. Yeah! Sorry, I just get a little excited about recording my voice sometimes. No, I'm just joking. We are doing a TvT tutorial for you guys. Someone was like, Incarnum, how the hell do you deal with mass siege tanks? Well, for starters, little man who asked, if you're dealing with mass siege tanks, this is probably what it looks like. We're going to say blue is your opponent. He's got a bunch of Marines because, of course, he's spending most of his gas and money on the tanks, but he will have a handful of Marines with them just because he's spending his extra minerals. You know, those mules, they kick in and all that jazz, and he will have Vikings. Now, siege tank users use the Vikings to get the extra range on the siege tanks because the siege tanks don't see as far as they can shoot. So when you put a Viking in the air and you fly it forward, the tanks get their full range, and you can really use that to push forward in a deadlock. Now, it's a really complicated thing to talk about how to deal with siege tank Marine Viking if you're trying to beat it with siege tank Marine Viking. I mean, I'm talking, it's like extremely difficult. It's such a complicated thing. There's a lot of decision making involved, and it starts from the very first tank that pops out when you take your expansions. It's just too big of a topic for me to cover right now and really cater to the other races and make videos for them as well. It would take like 3 or 4 videos, and maybe I'll talk about them later, but right now we're going to see one way, a very straightforward, simple way to deal with this composition here. And that will be, for Terran, you're going to want Banshees and Cloak. And Sky Terran is something that a lot of players don't really utilize enough. And I mean, you're gonna have a handful of Marines, right? Blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. I won't even use these Marines. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what the composition's gonna look like. Get a Raven. And get 2 Ravens if you can afford them, but 1 Raven's all you need. A handful of Banshees. Now, Banshees are good for holding off even the initial tank push if you get your Raven first. And I'll show you that in a Dragon game later. If you guys don't know who Dragon is, don't worry about it. But look at this Sky Terran build and then get like 2 Vikings. Badam. Shazam. Boom. Okay, cool. Now, let's take a look at the way this is... actually, hold on. Back. Look over here on the right here. You, as the red player going Sky Terran, have spent 2,300 minerals and 1,150 gas to his 2,900 minerals, 1,650 gas. You're at 44 supply, you're 56 supply. And this is his army comp, okay? It's bigger than yours, it's more expensive than yours. La-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be sieged. He's going to be trying to creep up on you. Ah, fuck. Ah, fuck. Well, that's silly. Alright, well, you know what? This is a good example. Alright. Look at that PDD. Get those Marines first. Look at this. Those tanks are naked. And I didn't even need Cloak. Alright. Let's see how few tanks I can do this with. Or Banshees, I mean. So let's give this a reset. Actually, I don't even want to reset this. I don't know how to use this program very well. Backspace. Ah, there we go. Sweet. All right. So, let's give you no Marines because you don't even fucking need the Marines. Big deal. But what I do want to give you. All right. So we're gonna go with. I'm gonna try 5 Banshees. Capiche, Terran. I'll give you the give you that for your Ravens. Cool. What else do we have? Not cool. All right. And I'll give you your Raven and your 2 Vikings. That's all you need. Now look at this shit. 1150 to 850. Huh. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's gonna work too. Alright. It's alright, let's split these up. Marines are split out pretty good. Okay. Hells yeah, they are. I'm not even going to use cloak. Not even going to use it. We're going to fight these Marines straight up because we're assuming that your opponent has scan or maybe even a Raven of his own. So here we're going to go. So I'm going to use PD. Some missile turrets or auto turrets. You know what I mean. And that worked pretty well. And I mean, obviously you could micro your Banshees however which way you wanted to. You can pull the damaged ones back, but you just won again. And just for funsies, gonna land him. That was fun. Cool. Yeah, you just beat an army of Marines with, yeah. Yeah, that was... Do you understand how one-sided this is? How good Banshees are against just Marine tank? You know, here, let's go back again. Let's take a look. Give them more Marines. Oh, look at this, more Marines. We'll give them combat shields. Okay. So, look at the value here, 31, 1650. To compensate for this, I will give you one extra Banshee and one extra Raven. Alright, so we are 26 supply to 60 supply. Okay, let's get this rolling. Pull the stuff back here just so they don't start shooting at each other too soon. Cool. Oh, do they not have... Ah, shit. Why don't they have stim? Oh, I didn't give them stim. Alright. Doesn't matter. We'll try this first before I go ahead and give them stim and make a fool of myself, because this might not work. But, let's give it a shot, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. We're going to A-attack right into this. And with the PDDs, auto turrets... Easy as pie. Woo! That was fun. Alright, so let's see how far we can push this. I think you guys get the point. We'll give those Marines stim. We'll give us one extra Banshee. Okay. And like, look, we don't even have freaking Marines, and we're assuming that you have Marines on top of this as well. Alright, so at the end, when all they have is like a few things left, you can run in with a pack full of Marines. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to go to Terran. I'm going to give him even more Marines. Coolio. Okay, he's got stim pack this time. Woo! Alright. I think we're good here. Beautiful. Start.
Roger that. Go, go, go! Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
We're going to try dealing with these Marines pretty much all at once. We'll stim the Marines. Alright, this is going to be a lot of micro on my part, but we'll see how this goes. Here we go.
Look at that!
Oh, That was fun. Alright, so one lonely Viking stays alive because we lost our Vikings. But, anyway, you guys get the point. So, pretty much, skull fuck that. You know, we'll get this guy on the ground. Whew.
No problem. Can do.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna load up the dragon replay and we'll talk about that. I'll see you guys next time. Alright, so I've loaded up the replay. This is Dragon versus Send. And I'll give you a look at the production tab for the sake of, you know, production. And as we zip through this, you're gonna see Send go for tanks and an early expansion, which is pretty common, I would say, in TvT. I mean, why not fast expand? Both of you want to. It's a pretty safe thing to do. And what we're going to see Dragon do is go for a very fast 1-1-1 and get that Raven. And, let me see here. Yeah, there, right away, goes for that Raven. Getting Marines as well, just a few, right? It's what he wants. That Reaper looked like he was glitched in place. That was weird. And over here, we have that fast expansion. So Send is going to be ahead in income. He's got a tank already. I think he gets more tanks, I'm pretty sure. And still zipping along through here. Gets that Viking already going for the heavy air mech. Going to try to get that air domination. And he's going to push with that. Just one tank, okay? So he has the tanks, and I believe that Send gets siege tech before the push arrives. He's got more tanks here, Marines, he's safe from drops, etc. 3 tanks, and against this piddly little ground force, and we will see siege. Hold on, here it comes. And he does have one Banshee and a Raven. And see both players trying to think about dealing with tanks with air. It's a competition on the ground and the sky, and I think a lot of low-level Terran players really focus on the ground only. But once you have the air, once you have control of the air, your ground tanks are so much scarier, and their tanks are so much less scary. So, I'm going to see this engagement. Watch it slowly, because this is how it works. He just runs straight up into it, man. Lets us. Okay, so we're seeing gun turrets, right? The Raven just kind of flying around. There's another gun turret, and really doing a lot of damage. The PDD went down to stop the Vikings. That's what Send used his Raven for. Probably should have used the gun turrets, but we're seeing the auto turrets do a lot of damage for Dragon. One tank sieges up here on the high ground. And a lot of damage here just from that Raven. It's really why Dragon did the damage he did. There's a Viking in the air that might cause problems for this medevac. But no, he's going to drop his tanks over here. And anyway, we're kind of wandering away from the point. But as you can see, both Terrans are really trying to go for that air style. Because air is so important. And following that, Dragon did get his expansion. And we'll watch as Dragon slowly gets the siege tank advantage, even though Send was the one that really tried to rush for more siege tanks. And look at how much the high ground does for him. Because of high ground view, his tanks can attack right here. So once again, those double Vikings are such a big deal in TvT. And yeah, like I said, we're really seeing Dragon pick up in the Marine tank Viking count, and this is really looking like the composition that I tested on the unit tester. Is it not? And the sensor tower goes down for Dragon. We've got another engagement here. I thought we were going to see one. This is over here once again. He's got the Raven for the PDD against the Vikings, and that's so he can try to fight that air superiority. And it's really the problem when you're trying to fight the tanks on the ground. Do they have air? If so, like, how can I stop it? But the air is going to allow this tank can just obliterate anything that gets close to it, because it gives them extra range. It's sniping Vikings. They could land right next to other siege tanks if they wanted to, whatever. But that tank count is a real problem, and let's see how Sen deals with it, if Sen deals with it. Because Sen can't get an air advantage, he can't even approach these tanks. And Dragon's Vikings are really causing a problem for Send. And with that high ground view, those tanks really just demolished this base. And so losing a lot of production there, Send is not really in control of this game. He needs more air superiority. He needs a way to take that out. And I mean, I won't cast the entire game because I've already cast this game. But just going through it, you can really see how it's the air that's winning this game, not so much the tanks. The tanks are the firepower, but the air is the reason it's working so well. And so we will see another engagement here, and now we're seeing Send catch tanks off guard. And you know, that's really the opportunity for this Air Force to pick that off. So we're going to see that now. Once those Vikings are gone, we're going to see Send really not afraid of Dragon's army anymore. And that one turning point where the tanks were unsieged, and now that there's no air support for them, it's a free win for Send, really. He's going to push in here with a lot of tanks, and the Vikings land. See the utility of the Vikings right there. You can't stress that more, man. And those really need to pick up. And as he starts to lose his air units, he starts to lose his push. He starts to lose his creep in. But he will try to maintain it. And I'm really showing you all this to stress, once again, the importance of the air when you're going tanks, and having a superiority over his air army when he's got tanks. Once you have that air superiority, it's so easy to kill their tanks. It just really is. Marines suck dick. I mean, they're really good, but against Banshees, against like Ravens, they're just not enough. And they'll never be in really high numbers because you're spending all your money on the mech. And just you know, you just saw Vikings pick off a floating building. Vikings put you in control, man. That air. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. That's what I'm going to show you. And what you see is eventually Dragon will push back against this and once again maintain an air superiority. And what you'll see is Send actually go for mass air to counter Dragon's tank count. Dragon gets a really high tank count, and Send ends up going mass battle cruiser Vikings. So, and then once again, Dragon has to get air superiority, and I think that's really what TvT is about. The tanks are just kind of a distraction. They're a positional tool, but they don't move fast, and once you've got air, they're worthless. So, unless you've got a big ground army, the tanks aren't going to do much, right? So get that air, man. Try out some air mech. Or air Terran. It's pretty freaking awesome. And I hope this was helpful to you guys. If I didn't clarify everything you want to know, ask questions in the comments. I respond to everything, and I do it quickly within the same day. So just, you know, ask away, and I'll do a separate video if there's something you're not clear about. And I'll see you guys next time.